Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is SYMPATHY, and as you can all see, I am right. I am right at welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is SYMPATHY, and as you can see, right, we are in this wonderful place near a river, and I am back with my improvement. Talking about my second quarter improvement, I will talk about it when I am going to open my screenplay. And now when I talk about my physical improvement, as you can all see, I have not done anything, and I am shameless about it. Well, it is in fact a great courage to be shameless to admit that you didn't get anything. Because people, they usually lie. If you ask a kid that what grade did he got in his school examination, then he might tell a lie. He might tell a lie that he got good grades, but that may not be the case. And so really one has to accept their mistakes. But the thing is, I didn't try it at all. I did not get any push-ups. I did not get any kind of exercises. But yes, I did improve. What I was 3 months ago, I am not that same person anymore. I have made a little more progress when it comes to being financially stable. I have already started. I have built my big banners of my own training institution. Actually, that is the first department of PP, Education and Training Department, and I have made a lot of comments on my social media, especially on Instagram, about how I just don't like the way how women have an advantage in their life, and how I am facing my family problems, and how there are constant fights in my family. I also does share that is what you get in your life when you really are dependent on others. And this is why every high school teenager should start working and do a part-time job of their own. They should start earning their own money and not be dependent on your parents, on your family. Especially when it comes to my family, I would really say that everything is just bad. When I think about this society, the way, well, maybe I should not talk about this. This will be a long video. But back to my improvement, as you can see, I have not built by those abs and that big bicep and triceps that you see, and also do the part of boxing where you really learn the art of fighting, or let's say MMA, or I am stuttering a lot. What is that sport? I know the name, but I'm not able to speak it. Speak the word. And which means kickboxing. Yes, kickboxing. So that is one other thing which I does have a plan to learn, but I have not started this learning at all because I am simply busy doing all of the work for my own company. Well, okay, that is dangerous, but this is water. And apart from that, now I'm not going to talk about how, even though I have talked about this in my every video, and there are not many people watching this video, because rather than doing and making improvement, I have only talked about how the system favors women and how I had a negative family and friends, and how this past life thing and this relationship relationship failure has hit my career a lot, and how there are two things that matter in your life. One is finance, and the other thing is sex. And you have to become a very rich, successful man in order to get that beautiful woman with you. And well, this is it. Now we will move on to the free plane and talk about what are the goals for this month, and I will also show you the hard progress that I have made in my life doing the work of everyone, whether that be a labor, carpenter, and then plumber, advocate, CA, salesman, everything, all of the work. When you have an ambition, you are going to make an effort for it, and that is what I am going to do. Not only that, I also have a future aim that I will build, that I hope that my company will build their own spacecraft, their own human colony spacecraft that will not have the laws that are formed by the Indian Parliament, by the Indian government, etc. I don't have power. One man cannot change this society, even if this whole damn society is wrong. And this is a very difficult task to do, especially I'm still a guy with no money. I take money from my father, and I constantly feel insulted, because really that man is not. When I just grow up, I realize how imperfect and wrong that man is, but he just do not accept his mistakes, and he will just put his mistakes on others and really try to control others' lives with their expectations, uh, with their family drama, and not really concerning about others' problems. That is what I think. And now let's move on to the free plane. And welcome everyone. As you can all see, this is free plane and open source mind mapping software. And as you can see, uh, in this, it is very much visible. It is very much clear to you that I have not done anything. The same thing that I told. I did a lot of things, but not the things that I have told that I will do. I will try to do. And that's been something my biggest failure. Even now, it's 6th of October 2025, and I had to upload this video on 31st of September, 30th of September, I think. 30 or 31st, I don't know. Maybe it is 30th of September 2025. I don't have any idea what date it is, what date it is. And really, I'm not focusing on any of my improvement. Neither I am focusing on civil services. I'm someone who is just spreading my frustration, my dissatisfaction, and anger towards the parliament, judiciary, and the society of which I have no control over. But I do have control over what I can do with my life. And I have discarded Hindu religion completely as much as I could. I have, for the most part, I have completely removed this. I should have made it very clear. I have removed this completely. I don't plan to get married in the Hindu way, in which you really do this 7 rounds of marriage together, etc. thing. You do the event of when someone dies, you do that 10 to 15 days of things. When I'm going to die, I will write it in my own way what needs to be done, what how I need to be rested, because we really do not know why we are born in a specific country, in a specific family, in a specific society we do. Because if really someone would have given me the choice to be born, to choose the country in which you want to be born, I would have choose USA for the most part, or any country where there where the laws are gender neutral, where prostitution is legal. If I want to go and have sex with any woman, then I can go and have it with any prostitute, any sex worker I want. And that would be legal adult sex center where there would not be any stress of STI, sexually transmitted diseases that could simply ruin your life, which also ensures the safety, hygiene of the sex worker, and also they sex work would be treated as a legal work, and men and women who would be working in that field, they would also have the voting rights and other rights. And I personally would try to become a very successful CEO and have sex with as many women as I can. But since I am born in this country, in this stupid country, I became a victim of the sexual oppression in Indian society. I had negative company of friends, as I have always told. I had incompetent education system. Sex education is not enough. There should be the knowledge of law that is made gender neutral. Any woman can threaten a guy. Any woman can blackmail a guy, and then they can simply rape that guy. How many? I shouldn't say this, and I won't talk about this in my self mastery and success video, because my aim is to create my own company and make it a global leader. And right now, as you would know, that AI, artificial intelligence, it is the new gold of the century. where everyone are chasing that. And as you might already know, and Nvidia is one of the company that makes the graphic chips, and you already know that it has a valuation of around 4 trillion. And really, I want to create my own company that has that right now in my eye it has a valuation of 100 trillion US dollar. That is for USA. That is the GDP of four USA, four times the USA, and 25 times India, GDP of India. And well, really, one company valuing so much, how is this possible? People will laugh at me, but that's fine. And really, I'm not someone who wants to live in fear, who wants to live under control, whose freedom is uh, whose freedom could be threatened, and man would not be getting justice. All of this I don't want to feel or suffer. I want to make women feel the same suffering which they make men feel. That is, if a guy files a false charge of rape on them, then their entire life will be ruined in the blink of a, I mean, in just a day. And I want women to feel the same suffering that men do. Now, women may say, why not men face the rape? Well, there are men who rape men, and there are also women who rape men. So this is not something that is surprising or new, or it is done in society, even though there is no record that is maintained in NCRB, National Crime Record Bureau, I think. And I have already created a playlist, and I'm quite tired of it, tired of uh, tired of saying this again and again. And really, since I don't have any power in this country, I'm not the prime minister of the country, I'm not the president of the country, or neither I'm the law minister of the country. But all of you 140, I'm sorry, all of you 70 crore men in this country, your life does not have any value at all. So if I say anything, I don't know. Please respect yourself, fight for your rights. I had recently seen that video of Sonam Vanchuk. I'm sorry if I didn't say the word correctly. NSA has been put on that guy and he is in jail. Can you realize his liberty is taken? So if someone express their frustration and they want people to make a change, they want their rights, then they can't raise their voice for it. Otherwise, these people will just put and curse them. And I understand that there was a violence, violence protest, and I understand both the sides. And and in my opinion, there should be a trial in the Supreme Court, and everything should be done because. And I'm not going to talk about it. But really, the thing that I want to say, all of the men, whether you are a soldier, whether you are a farmer, whether you are an IT employee or whether you are doing anything at all, whether you are an IAS officer, whether you are a policeman, whether you may be a, let's say, politician, then every man has the right to protect their body. And I don't think any man would want to have sex with an ugly woman. Most of the men will choose a very attractive, young, beautiful woman, virgin woman. This is what I have wanted ever since I got into college. And you would have a lot of those kinds of dreams, but these are things that are not fulfilled. But for a woman, life is very easy, all because of our parliament and our government that has formed laws that becomes a legal harassment for men. For women, they don't have any problem at all. And the way these laws are formed, it has frustrated me to the point where I think that even if women are raped, that's not a big deal at all. And rape is not really a big deal at all. There should not be 10 years of imprisonment for it. It should be from 3 to 7 years based on the intensity of the crime. Really think about it. Every man wants to have a sex. Uh, every man would be wanting to have sex with a harem in their teenage, in their young age. If you take out the history books, then you will read how emperors and king they used to wage war, they used to capture women, and then they used to make them their harem. That is the kind of life which every man wants, but most men in our country watch us porn, they masturbate. And if they try to have sex with a woman, then they are always at the vulnerable end of getting harassed by false charges by laws such as Section 69, which is injustice, and for those men who are emotional, for those emotional men who are tricked and fooled by women, this is really sad for you. Well, whatever it may be, but I am not someone who is going to simply sit idly by and ruin, let let them have the power to ruin my life. And when I'm going to start this company, PP, I will ensure that we have a no female employee policy. We will not hire any woman at all. This is something that I really want to do. I want to make this government realize their incompetence, this parliament their mistakes. And really, when you are not strong, you are not able to do anything. If you don't have strength, you can't do anything at all. And that strength it comes from the position and power. And for women, you really didn't deserve any kind of respect. All of those women who make this women empowerment drama, it's just a drama and it's just a waste of energy. So now about the progress that I have made when it comes to establishment of my own business and company, well, I have finally registered my enterprise. It is actually one of the department of PP, that is Education and Training Department. Originally, this department would have tutored, I should not say tutored, this department would be responsible for training the employees of PP. Mhm. And well, but since we don't have any money at all as of now, I have to give the education which is as per the course curriculum of the CBSE board, Central Board of Secondary Education, which is situated in New Delhi, their headquarters, I believe. And I have also tried to write an a reformation letter expressing that there should be sex education should be made transparent. I was a guy who has done his schooling from a CBSE based school, and I want to express that I used to watch porn, and there are plenty of men who used to watch porn. There are plenty of men who watches. There are plenty of boys who watches porn, and there are girls who watches porn as well. But if anything goes wrong, it will always be men and boys who will be blamed and who will be harassed. So rape law should be made gender neutral, as well as the teachers are also at the threat of getting harassed by the false charges of students. So they should also take responsibility for their life, and if they were to ruin the life of a teacher. And this is why, and for this, when I am going to inaugurate this enterprise, I will ensure that I will try to invite the SDM sub district magistrate or any of a good position policeman, but I really want the DM to come himself to the inauguration of this enterprise. But I don't think this would happen. I even SDM might not come as well, even though I have good intentions. But they might not come because they might think that they have become much more successful than me. And why would they go to this small enterprise? And this is the kind of mentality which people have. They might have, but I'm someone who wants to ensure that my voice is heard. The changes that I want, they know it, and this parliament is elected by this society. This government is made by this society, but this company is made by me, myself, Piyush Pasaria, and I am the only and the final and the highest authority here. And I do have some changes that I plan to do. Then comes the part of civil services. So I did have I did started appearing for civil services. I have posted few videos, few reels on my Instagram once again, as you know, expressing my frustration towards injustice law. And well, when it comes to this job roles development, I didn't do I did not did anything at all. This is just the same as it was. As you can see, USA is the top country, followed by China and Japan. Japan, Germany, and India is nowhere. Even though if I in future with my efforts and with my dedication, I was to make my own humanoid robotics, even then, since this country has not given any kind of respect to its men, I would really not be happy even if I see the name of me as an Indian. Maybe I might even just leave this country and discard its citizenship and go in some other country, because every country wants to hire skilled labor who will make their country come forward. And really, skilled employees are respected. At least they are needed. Even if they are not respected, they are needed. And everyone wants something out of you. Human beings are selfish. And why should I stay in this country when there is no respect given to men? There is no equality in law. And there is silence. Silence of the kids. But it is fine. So, this is what the part is. Maybe I said, for the most part, it would be if I see a better opportunity abroad and I have the skills which they want. Okay, so this was quarter one, first quarter improvement. Now, when I talk about the quarter fourth improvement from October to December, and when I talk about the physical improvement, and as you can see, exercise every day. This will be the same bicep, tricep, for bicep, regular diamond archer for core plank, skipping, running, via push up, and then comes the boxing practice 50 punches left, 50 punches right, eating healthy food, protein rich food that ensure your brain is getting sharper, your memory would be boosting, and then comes the part of self definition. This is one of the most important thing that a person do. What you think about yourself comes to life. If you think you are good, then you would be good. You will consciously, if you are thinking of trying to be good, if you are thinking of good, then you will be good. If you are consciously making yourself feel this, that you are a man of your words, then what you do, what you say, you will do. And the same thing goes with everything you think about yourself, your words which you say to yourself, your self talk. And then comes the part of affirmations, as it will be very clear. And then comes the part of meditation. Meditation is when you just start observing your own thoughts that you keep thinking consciously and unconsciously. And then comes 21 days habit, 90 days lifestyle. It takes 21 days to build a habit, 90 days to build a lifestyle, but for me, it will take 90 days to build a habit and 1 year to build a lifestyle. Well, people might mock me because I have been doing this for last 4 years. And when it comes to this physical improvement thing, this self mastery and success, this quarterly series of self mastery and success, I have not done anything in in my last 2 years, and it is very much visible on YouTube. And well, you are right. I have not done anything at all. I have not done anything what I have said. I have did something else. It took me around more than one year, 1.5 years, 1.3 months, 1.4 months, 1.1.5 year to simply renovate my home office, and I did everything. I did the part of painting, everything for the most part. Well, so this was it. I will try. to finally inaugurate my enterprise, which is the first apartment of PP this quarter, and also ensure that I will start making new department as well. Well, this is it for this quarter. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you become a successful man, a successful woman by following this journey. And life is always hard when you are alone, but I have made further progress in my self reliance. Well, I am adding this in addition to the video at the end of the video. I'm sorry for that. I was going to upload this video on 1st of October 2025, but I didn't. It now skipped to 2 to 3 months later. And well, I just postponed it. I didn't feel like doing it. I didn't feel like improving it. And well, I'm simply blaming. I am quite frustrated and angry by the fact that I just keep I just keep blaming women and how they really have this advantage that all the men they want to have sex and they just approach women for that. And when a woman does not need to approach any man for sex because they are sex objects and it works in their favor, and all the laws they are meant for their protection, which creates an opening for legal harassment of men. And I am a guy who has one felt the fear of becoming a victim of false charge of rape. In fact, at that time I even didn't know that would be a false charge of rape. And back after my graduation, let me tell you very clearly, back then I have thought of committing suicide, that I will not be able to fight everyone like that like this. And now after my graduation 4 years later, right now suffering from I am suffering for being self-reliant, earning my own money and having sex, as well as trying to get justice for men, because men are also victim of rape by women. Let me tell you very carefully, men becomes victim of rape by women. And I am alone in this journey because I have to fight. I'm sorry for this. I am suffering from cold, and it's the winter time in India, and well, I can't help it. I know this is very bad. It really reduces the quality of the video, but like it will not. I will not be able to recover myself for next 2 to 3 months until winter is gone. And this is how every year my story is. Once I caught cold, it will stay throughout the winter, so it doesn't matter. Even if I try to recover it, it won't go away. So I have to fight the entire parliament. I have to fight the entire government of India, and now I also have to fight parliament and the judiciary. And I am alone in all of this. Can you realize? If I was a
Open just an imaginary case. I would have had sex, as much sex would have wanted, and there will be no one to be asked for my accountability. And if I find a good guy, as a woman, this is the level of thinking that I find it very frustrating that when I am trying to become a very successful man, and any woman who can see my money and later she can lie to me, deceive me, manipulate me, threaten me just to marry me to get my money, to live a easy, happy life. And this is not fine with me, and I don't want this because I'm already a guy who has struggled a lot in his life. I'm a guy who has already seen how marriage matters the most. One wrong decision, and you have a very wrong wife who will ruin you, who will, who will, who will just ruin you. And my own family member is one of the example. And I also do understand that just telling everything on social media is dangerous. You do not want to let people know too much about you. Then they might control and manipulate you. But then again, I am quite really frustrated. Not I'm quite repressed with having all of these things in my mind, and I don't want to hold back. And this is the problem that I constantly struggle with, keeping things in my mind and letting them set free. I just want to see how a woman would react when they are threatened with a false charge of rape, how what they will think in their brain, and will they commit suicide. You know, women bait men with sex, and I want men to also bait women with sex. There are sugar mommies, there are sugar daddies who will spend money on you, and there are men who are fine with it. There are men fine with marrying a woman for money. This is not okay with me because I am not a guy who will marry any woman for money. I would be wanting to someone to realize my wounds and really heal them and not make them bigger. And well, I would also not be wanting this garbage court of justice, this garbage coward court of justice, which we called as the Supreme Court of India, and the ODC to not ruin my life because I may be one single guy who doesn't have the power of the police force nor the army who can take them down and really show them how what would happen when they ruin the life of a man whom they think are simply worthless. This mindset that men didn't feel pain and well, their life does not matter. It is not fine with me, and I want to make and I want to give this statement very clear to the Indian Parliament. Your incompetency is the biggest cause of misery throughout the society, whether that be men or whether that be women. Democracy only gives equality of opportunity. Remember that. It does not grant free money and free efforts or injustice laws. And all and this should be heard by all of these people who had elected these fools. because ultimately you are the one who is suffering. I don't plan. I i desire power to create my own country in space, just like this big guys, the founder of Amazon, and all of this USA elite billionaires who have their global leader companies that are spread throughout the world. I want to create a company that is even larger. It would be the largest company in the world that I that would have a worth of 100 trillion US dollars. That means four USA economy combined, and well, that's the value. And when you really think what is value, it's just a piece of paper. I could write 100 trillion US dollars on a piece of paper and that would be it. But what is actually those 100 trillion US dollars? That the trust, that's the resource, that's the service, etc., that a person would give. And well, one I'm going to have that 100 trillion US dollars because I am planning to write a letter to all the to all the governments of the world to invest in my company, to make my dream come true of creating my own country in space where there is equality of rape law, where there is legalized premarital agreement and legal adult sex centers, and everything else that I have said in my open letter, which I don't think Indian Parliament or the Indian government will follow just because they are too arrogant in their nature. They think whatever they do is the best. Even the illiterate peoples are running this country, and well, educated peoples are working, and well, I am not a king here who has their harem of beautiful women with whom I would have sex with. This is what the this is why I don't like being born in a sex repressed edition and culture where lies and deception have to be done before the marriage. And well, kings used to have their harem in the 17th and 18th century who enjoyed sex. Meanwhile, men like me who has watched porn and masturbated all their life, and I can't be a king because I don't have an army. I don't have some royal bloodline with just because of which I have the power and the authority to get the best beautiful virgin young woman. But still, I am a man of courage, and you just need to say it what you want and try getting it. And that is what I am exactly trying to do. I go through I go through a problem of having a harem and really having sex with so many women at one time. I even I will say it, and I will not concern about the YouTube's terms and conditions because well, I saw one guy in a porn who had sex with 50 women, and that was the greatest thing. And I was just like, This is the most happiest time of a man's life. What else would a man would be wanting apart from endless sex? 50 women. In fact, that is what I used to masturbate thinking about. But then there are some men who really experience it. Of course, they lose their privacy in it. And I don't want to lose it, but I am not a king and emperor who has an harem. And then there are some men who knows how to talk to women, how to sexualize them, how to exploit their vulnerab- vulnerabilities. If a woman is ugly, that guy will say, "Well, beauty does not matter. Inner beauty matters," etc., etc., etc. All of this to make the woman feel good in her own skin because she knows ugly woman doesn't have any value. You will see out the history that the most beautiful women are the one for whom men have fought war for, because if there are two guys who want the same woman, there would be a war between them. And well, no man likes a manly woman. Um, at least there, and again, there are all kinds of men. There are some men who have feminine traits, and then there are some men who have masculine traits. And I like really a woman who is 36, 24, 36 inches, the most beautiful woman in the world, for which Rome would have gone. Rome would have gone for a war, or the Mongolians would. I don't want to be this guy who masturbates and watch porn. I am lonely deep inside. I want to sleep with as many women as I can, but and also I also want to feel the happiness of having a virgin wife, a young, beautiful virgin wife, and I have all the power in the world that not even the Indian Parliament, the judiciary, or the government can challenge me. All that a man needs is power. And when you have the power, the whole world kneels before you. And I am not some bad guy. I just want sex. That's all. And I want to think about my safety first. Do you do you really think a man would ever give pleasure to a woman? A king would give pleasure to any of their what what should I say, sex slaves? No, I want to say concubine, but I am going to stutter. Right now, I am not able to breathe just because of the cold. So I am breathing from my mouth, and I already have stammering difficulty. So then tell me, why did the Indian Parliament, are they really so much illiterate that they do not really consult the medical institutes like All India AIMS New Delhi, All India Medical Institute, to to not really get to know how uh, I will reshape my entire sentence so that it makes more sense. I want to ask this parliament, did they do not did they do not consult the doctors of the AIMS to really study the rape law which they have formulated? Are they smarter? Are these illiterate parliament members smarter than the doctors of the AIMS who have studied the human body, who have studied what are the sexual glands? How I do not know which rapist will ever lick a woman's vagina without her consent, and that would be a rape to a woman. I'm a guy, and if there are beautiful women who came out of nowhere and really they tie me, or they may really just use force and start giving me BJs, blowjobs, then I do not think so that, well, that would be the best thing. Then think about it. Why would any man, any rapist criminal will ever give pleasure to a woman? That's how a woman will rape a guy. Sex is a consensual act. Both peoples they agreed to it. Who would which guy would be wanting to fuck an ugly woman? No one. And where should that woman get sex? He can rape a man as well. That a woman is always rational. Put this thing in mind. It is always said that women are emotional, but they are the most rational human beings ever. It is men who are emotional, and those who are emotional they pay the price of their emotions. This is what happens when an incompetent person has the power to really have so much influence in the parliament that they can simply remove the homosexual rape that a man can do on a man. If I was the parliament, if I was the PM, I would have controlled rape and ensure safety of women and the accountability of women as well. No man is ever born a rapist. Sexual desires, everyone has sexual desires. But when you will talk about rape, only men will be harassed and abused. No woman will be harassed and abused. Indian Parliament will hide, Indian administration will hide the name of the victim, but they will reveal the name of the accused. Like each and every woman will put their varmala on the neck of the accused. This is the level of incompetency of the Indian Parliament, and think about it. Indian Parliament, Indian government, these peoples are running the country. Do you really believe these peoples can ensure that India will really be a strong, competent nation? I don't think so. Well, there's no point in venting my frustration out because I'm just a common man making a video on YouTube that I believe most people might not watch because they don't like watching so long videos. And well, that's it. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, like the video if you like it, and comment so that we can engage and really talk because we all are human beings. You are human being, I am human being, and well, that's it.